Ozark and Washita streams are famous for their beauty and smallmouth bass fishing. Dwayne Hayda, a fly fisherman and guide in northwest Arkansas, knows firsthand how anglers react to in-stream gravel mining sites while in search of smallmouth bass and the natural beauty of these areas.
You come to a stream and you're experiencing and you're kind of caught up in the beauty of the Ozarks and such and fishing down through the streams, and suddenly there's heavy equipment and things like that right in the stream bed, shoving piles of gravel up and altering the course of the stream and such, which really, I think, takes away from the total experience. And we tend to avoid those type of areas. We don't want our wild, natural streams and places marred by that type of activity.
After the effects of in-stream gravel mining are evident, can the stream system ever recover? Will the natural beauty of the area be forever lost?
The other thing you have to be thinking about is the magnitude of a problem on a given system, because a stream can recover from gravel operations given the distance and time, in other words. And on a recent flyover of a major Ozark stream, it's about 87 miles long when we counted 45 gravel mining operations on that stream alone. Now, some of these were older gravel operations, but they're still having an impact. And if it takes a stream a couple miles to recover from an operation, you can see that if there's 45 sites on a 90-mile stream, it never does get the chance to recover. That's part of the problem, is just the magnitude, the number of these operations on streams themselves. What we've been seeing is not only an environmental impact, but also an economical impact, too.
Economics. In-stream gravel mining has always been a cheap source of gravel. But is it cheap enough to justify losing millions of dollars in recreational activities on affected streams and surrounding areas?
The value of the tourism dollar to the state is somewhere around $2 billion. You can figure roughly 47 to 50,000 jobs, and the annual direct tax benefit to the state's around $180 million per year.
Jim Gaston is owner of Gaston's White River Resort. An avid angler and pilot, Jim has been flying Crooked Creek for the past 30 years and noticing the changes.
The major impact on Crooked Creek, as far as the fishing, you've seen it go from world-renowned smallmouth bass fishery through the whole fishery, and now what you still have pockets of good fishery, but when you get into these major gravel mining operations, you either have no fishery or the fishery's completely changed up from smallmouth bass to largemouth, bluegill, this type of thing.
There are tremendous values associated with stream fisheries in the state. Our own survey shows that some 58% of registered voting Arkansans fish. The National Hunting and Fishing Survey showed that some 769,000 Arkansas residents and non-residents aged 16 years and older fish annually. Those people spend some $286 million in the state on their equipment and licenses and lodging and food and gasoline and so on.
Water quality is also an issue.
We have three major areas of concern of in-stream gravel mining and their effect on impairment of water quality. These include destabilization of the stream bank and the bed of the stream. It includes a widening and shallowing of the stream channel, and it includes increasing the stream turbidity, or the turbidity of the water, and increasing siltation or sedimentation of the stream bed. Perhaps the most important characteristic, though, is that it destroys the riparian vegetation. This is the streamside vegetation that serves as the primary defense mechanism of the stream to prevent impairment. If we lose the riparian vegetation zone from bank erosion or from any other cause, then the stream loses its ability to cope with conditions that might impair the stream, and therefore it's vulnerable to rapid destruction.
Rapid destruction. The possibility of millions lost in tourism. Extraordinary resources on the brink of disaster. This prompted the 1993 Arkansas legislature to pass Act 378, making it illegal to commercially mine gravel from the stream bed of any extraordinary water resource. But this law is currently in danger. Conservation of these waters is very important. Current market demands for gravel should not include extraordinary resource streams in an economically healthy Arkansas. In-stream gravel mining has provided a cheap source of gravel in the past, but the real costs are just now being fully realized. In fact, nationally, only about 20% of the gravel used in road construction, building, and other uses comes from streams. The majority of gravel comes from quarries and open-pit mining, which are practical alternatives to in-stream gravel mining.
The bottom line on gravel dredging is we like to catch smallmouth bass. People float this stream and they like to catch smallmouth. And if you like to catch smallmouth, they're not going to be here.
Strictly my personal opinion, the change from whenever I first started flying in this area in the early 60s to what you're seeing now, that if the mining goes unchecked on Crooked Creek, the resource will be gone in another 3 or 4 years. And I know that sounds like maybe somewhat of an exaggeration, but I can tell you from my perspective, from seeing it, day to day, the resource is vanishing rapidly.
Please help in protecting your extraordinary resource streams. Call your elected officials, local, state, or federal, and tell them how you feel about gravel mining in our extraordinary resource streams, and report illegal in-stream mining activity by calling 1-800-EARTH-11.